Okay, this is Dr. Rosemary Hyde. I'm doing this series for Living Peace Now to help students from around the world who are interested in going to the US or to Canada for higher education, university education, or graduate education. And what I'm doing is going over the, the types of institutions, the types of universities or colleges that exist, and sort of helping you to create in your mind a complete picture of higher education in our two countries. And there are universities, there are four-year colleges. A university, by definition, offers some graduate programs. Very large universities are kind of like cities. They have 50,000, 70,000 students. So if you think about all of the teachers and the staff and the students, they're like a mid-sized city in terms of how many people there are. And each one of them is as individual as a different city. Smaller universities, smaller secondary state universities or private ones, might have as few as 2,000 or 3,000 students, or, might be someplace in the middle. So all sizes are available. And the colleges, the 2-year college programs that I wanted to share today, every city and every county or borough or, suburb of big cities has its own 2-year college. So there are thousands of them. They're local. They, once you become a resident in the city or the county or the state that runs a 2-year college, they have very, very low tuition, and they teach the basics of, what could be a transfer program, which means you take the first 2 years at the 2-year college, and then you go to the 4-year college to finish your bachelor's degree. A few community colleges grant bachelor's degrees, most don't. Most grant associate's degrees and certificates. So the skilled professions where you need to know very specific knowledge to do the job have become the province of the 2-year colleges. So if you wanted to learn bookkeeping, for instance, you'd go to a 2-year college in the US. If you wanted to become a certified technician in a laboratory or in a medical specialty, the ones that actually do the x-rays and the scans and the, all the procedures for diagnosis, those are 2-year college programs. If you wanted to work in a law office as a technician, you would get that skill, legal associate or legal technician, at a 2-year college. If you want to become a hotel chef or manager, you would study that at a 2-year college. Do you get the picture? It's skilled occupations that don't require a graduate degree. They still pay very well, but you're not in the upper echelons of the profession. You're one of the people that actually does the work. And, I'm saying this because sometimes somebody who wants to be in the higher echelons of a trade or an occupation could benefit from learning the lower echelons of a different trade. For instance, in health, if you wanted to add a nursing degree, for instance, to a public health master's, you'd go to a community college to add that to your skills and get that qualification. So there are times when community colleges might be the solution to what somebody wants to do. And it's good to know that they exist, that they charge very low tuition. They're mostly open enrollment, which means you don't have to pass an exam to be admitted. They will admit you. If you need extra work in English or mathematics or science, they have those courses to bring you up to the level where you need to be to further study. So they have uses, and it's useful to know that they exist and what they do. So I'm going to share my screen and talk a little bit more. So community colleges are absolutely respectable alternatives for younger students, for students who want to gain skills in an area where you don't need an advanced master's or doctorate degree, or you want to start out and your English isn't good enough to get you into a graduate degree. This is another strategy to get you into an educational institution in the US or Canada and help you to build basic skills. Many students do transfer to a 4-year college from the 2-year college. Or if they got an associate's degree in the 2-year college, then they could, in a secondary field for them, then they're in the system and they would find it easier to be accepted at a selective university. If you don't know what you want to do, the community college is a good place to explore because tuition is cheaper. You can, try out different things without spending a lot of money. Many 2-year colleges have online programs. So for instance, as an international student, if some of your undergraduate work was in an online program in a community college in the country, that would give you a little extra edge competitively. So this is an example of some of the professional skills that you can get certified or degreed in at a 2-year college. Accounting, I mentioned, agriculture, automotive technology, aviation, flying an airplane or servicing an airplane, business administration or marketing or other business skills, admin, administering an office, or being a technology professional in any field, really, health or business or science. Computer engineering, cybersecurity and networking, anything having to do with criminal justice also takes place in the community college. It's a 2-year degree program to become a police officer, for instance. Digital design, diesel technology, which I expect will be less of a top field of study as we move to non-petroleum sources of power. But then that will become a field in the community colleges. Emergency response, emergency operations, health services, lab technician, manufacturing engineering, technology, psychology, but at the lower levels. You can't become a certified counselor based on a 2-year program. You'd have to transfer and finish a bachelor's and master's program someplace else. Registered nursing, yes. Technical studies of all kinds. And then let's see what else. Automotive technology. If you wanted to specialize in knowing about dealing with addictions, you could do that at a community college. Electronic engineering of different kinds you can do at a community college. Early childhood education, yes. First line supervision in factories or in businesses. Medical laboratory assistant. Multimedia design, a lot of stuff with computers. The training is in 2-year colleges. Becoming a fire technology person, or not just a ordinary firefighter, but somebody with specific skills in dealing with different kinds of fires. Or the emergency medical technician, the ambulance staff. Welding, glass blowing, gas metal, welding of all kinds. As you can see, welding. Certificate in wildlife biology, if you want to work in a park as a ranger, as a staff person. And wildland fire science. Wildfires are becoming a huge issue. So the science of fighting them is something that is becoming common in community or 2-year colleges. So there's the starting level in many careers where you transfer into a 4-year university to complete. And there are also many technical skills-based occupations where you get the training in a 2-year college. So even if you have a master's degree in something, like for instance, if you have a master's degree in counseling and you want to specialize in addiction, you might find a 2-year college program. I have a friend whose daughter wanted to be a photojournalist, and she did not do well in the academic classes at the bachelor's level. And she has ended up enrolling in a 2-year college photography and journalism program. And she's now graduated, and she is working as a photojournalist in a local newspaper, not a national or international one. But it's a start. And she can choose either to work her way up, as we say, to be an apprentice and to get promotions that way, or now having studied and been certified at a 2-year college, she may wish to go back to like a secondary state university and get a bachelor's degree based on the associate's degree that she got. So I hope that gives you a little picture of, how 2-year colleges figure into the overall range of training and education that's available in the US after high school, post-secondary. It's the first 2 years post-secondary, and in a wide variety of skills and fields. So for instance, if you wanted, for instance, to become a graphic designer and you really wanted to be skilled in the computer designing that goes on, it, might make sense for somebody with training in design to actually go to a 2-year college and get a certificate in architectural graphics because you'd get more skills at the basic technical level, which could be useful. So it's not only for people who have less education. It can also be a way of adding to your skills at a technical level in a different field or a field related to your primary field. Or it could be, a serious interest. If you want, for instance, to fly planes as a personal interest, the best place to get your training would be a 2-year college. And you'd learn to fly, or you'd learn to service your airplane, which would save you a lot of money. So sometimes in the arts or in some of the design areas, people go to a 2-year college because they're interested in some field. Or, for instance, a firefighter, an urban firefighter who is really interested in fighting wildfires might go to a 2-year college, to the wildfire science program, and become an expert in that area, which is related to his or her career master's level qualifications. Okay, want to stop sharing?